Hi, I'm here with a special Obstacle and Adventure Weekly update. I'm here with Brad, who, if you don't know, he's actually been working behind the scenes with OCR World Championships since the beginning. Every single registration that came in, Brad personally verified to make sure. About the women's elite race we've got this weekend.
You know, I think we've got some great competitors here, some exciting competitors, and obviously there's some competitors you can't overlook. Claude and Corinna.
Yeah.
Everybody knows their names right now.
Yeah.
They've had great seasons this year, so you can't...
Spartan Race World Championships 1-2.
Exactly. They're going to go head-to-head again here at the OCR World Championships. It's going to be an awesome race to watch. But there's some perennial competitors here as well that are going to give them a run for their money.
Including the top 3 from World's Toughest Mudder last year.
Exactly.
Correct?
So they're all here taking on this course. So Deanna Blegg, Maggie Thorne, and Amy Patrick. All here. But then you also have KK Stewart. So she's going to be here. And then KK Paul.
KK Stewart Paul.
KK Stewart Paul. So you got KK Stewart Paul. Everybody knows her name. Definitely a podium finisher with that, all that potential.
She just came off of a 6th place finish last weekend at the Warrior Dash World Championship, so we know that she can run fast.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, Cassie Watton.
Cassie Watton. Can't overlook her.
Tons of strength. Tons of great running skill, so she definitely has potential, and this course has a lot to throw at you, and people don't know what to expect necessarily. So some people have been on this course before and seen part of it at what Mud Guts and Glory has to offer, but they don't know what has been added for the OCR World Championships.
And we've added over 3 miles of terrain from what the traditional Mud Guts and Glory course is, especially for this, including the obstacles that are coming in, like the Platinum Rig, our ABF inverted walls, the Tip of the Spear from Battle Frog, and then we have the Bone Frog Challenge bringing in Normandy, which is their premier obstacle.
Plus new obstacles that have been built specifically for the OCR World Championships.
Yes.
So a lot of things that are brand new.
Tension is one to look out for.
Yes. Lots of excitement over tension. But what's even more exciting is now that you also have some dark horse athletes that nobody knows about because they're running races that we don't know about. So you have some top athletes from Sweden and South Africa that are dominating the race circuits in their own countries, but we have nothing to compare it to.
So who's your top dark horse pick for me?
So my top dark horse athlete is going to be Siri from Sweden.
And she has been dominating the Swedish circuit.
Totally.
And Anna Lee, who was just here on the east, or just here in the U.S. a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
We thought she was fast.
Yeah.
But now she's told us that Siri
is faster than her. And Siri just came off the win of the toughest mini tour in Sweden. So she just took their national championship essentially for OCR in Sweden.
So we basically have the Spartan Race World Championships, which is pretty much the U.S., Canada, a few other countries. And now we're bringing in Europe that we've never really seen before.
Yeah, so it's going to be exciting because we don't know what some of these athletes are capable of, plus a new course that a lot of people aren't familiar with, new obstacles that people necessarily haven't seen before. So there's a lot of things at play here.
So let's move on to the elite men's race. We've got some favorites. I mean, everybody's going to talk about. We've got Hobie Call here. We've got Jung Young Pak here. We've got Ryan Atkins here.
John Albin,
who's, again, just coming off. We've got 1-2 again from Vermont.
Yep.
And there's a ton of really competitive men, but give me 2 or 3 dark horses that maybe I don't know about and the general obstacle racing world doesn't know about.
Absolutely. Well, a name that's been tossed around now is Macharia Yu.
Yes.
He started here at Mud Guts and Glory, brand new to the sport, but a 2:10 marathoner.
Yeah, and he lives here.
And he lives here at Mud Guts and Glory, been training in the hills here, but hasn't seen this course. So everybody thinks this might be a complete advantage for him, but he hasn't seen the new addition to the course or the obstacles. But extremely strong on the hills. So when most people are power hiking these hills, Mooch, as we like to call him, he's running those hills. So it really plays to his strength, and he's been working on his weakness in the obstacles. So if he's putting in all that work, and Mooch is a guy who, if he sees a weakness, as soon as he sees that weakness, he's going to work at it. So he could come from behind, and with this extended course, some of those weaknesses, he could totally exploit that and go at it. And again, you have to look at the guys from Sweden and South Africa. They're coming in, and you have the top 2 athletes from Sweden who just took 1-2 in Sweden. They're coming over here now, and they are craving a podium. You also have the top finishers from the Jeep Warrior race in South Africa. They're also here. So we don't know what all that entails. They're really fit athletes. They're really craving to see what the U.S. has to offer for obstacle racing because it's very new to them over in their countries, and they're coming in ready to take a podium here.
Yeah, and Scandinavians, I mean, they're already known as great endurance athletes, whether it be Nordic skiing and the like. They are known as good runners, just anything. They live outdoors.
Right. And we got a chance to meet some of the people from Sweden, some of the athletes from Sweden and from South Africa, and they are strong. If you get to see them, I mean, their legs are going to be built for this type of terrain, and it's going to be exciting.
So let's go. So that's the elite races, but let's talk about really the heart of this event are the age group competitions.
Absolutely.
Because that is really what creates this sport. This is going to be the first time, instead of lining up with just an open heat and you're running against everybody throughout the day, you're only going to be lining up with those people in your same age bracket and your same sex. So when I line up, I'm going to be only on the line with 30 to 34-year-olds.
Yes, and that's exciting because now you get to really size up your competition and know that if you see them on the course, and you're getting past, you know what you need to do, and you're not going to be waiting for an hour or 2 hours or later in the day to find out where you kind of end up in the age group. So this is going to add a whole new dynamic to this competition. And so people are already sizing themselves up on Facebook, they're looking at their own different results, and there's some really stacked age groups. It's no longer just the elites that are out there, and the competition is going to be fun to watch. Some of these age groups are stacked, and some of the most fun competition to watch may be in the age groups.
So what age groups are going to be the ones that you think, because you've been looking at all these results, which ones are the ones that we're going to have to watch out for?
I've got to say, one of the age groups I'm most excited to watch is the men 40 to 44. Looking at some of these results, not only are these guys tops in their age group, but they have top overall finishes. They're finishing top 5, they're finishing top 10 in the overall, in elite.
So these are the guys that normally would be maybe a 5th to 10th place finisher, or sometimes even a podium finisher. They decided they don't want to race against Atkins and Albin and all those stuff. So they're out for blood for that.
Absolutely. They want to go against their own age group, and there is pride on the line here. And these guys are serious athletes. This is no joke, and this is going to be an age group that's going to be really, really fun to watch. And I'm just excited about it because looking at all of these guys' statistics, there's plenty of podium finishers, plenty of elite athletes that have a ton of races under their belt. They're training hard. It's going to be a good one.
Are they going to be clawing for the finish line?
I think the start line is going to be clawing for position. It's going to be pretty exciting.
All right, now which women's age group do you think is going to be the one to watch?
I think the age group for the women is going to be 30 to 34.
Oh, thanks.
No problem. Sorry, Mark. Sorry. Look out for that. But again, this is another age group where you have plenty of podium finishers that are capable of that. And many of those athletes, again, typically running elite, who have gone down to that age group to compete against their age group, really embracing this age group concept and enjoying that fact that, hey, I get to line up against people in my age group, I get to see them and take them on. It's going to be another fun one to watch because they all are capable of stealing that podium.
That'll be, thanks. Thanks
for
the confidence.
One exciting to watch. They're taking off right after the men that are 30 to 34, that are right after the elite women. Going to be early in the morning, taking it on.
Excellent. So, what are some other age groups that are pretty unique? I know we talked about earlier that you're really excited to watch this next generation, right?
Absolutely. You know, what's really unique that sometimes gets overlooked is that next generation of obstacle racing. So for some of us who are, getting up in the years of obstacle racing maybe. But, we're looking at what's going to be the next generation of obstacle racing. So we have women and men 13 to 17. That's one of the age groups that's competing here at the Obstacle Racing World Championships.
I think that's the first time that we've really empowered that age group to really race. And they're still racing for money, just like the 40 to 40-year-old men.
Absolutely, and for some of them, their qualifying races were sometimes their first ever obstacle race. So this is their introduction to the sport, and they're embracing it, they're loving it, and this is their opportunity to see it on a world stage. They're getting to see some of the top athletes in the sport, so they're getting to watch those elite athletes and then take on that same course that they did, and then also call themselves eventually, potentially a world champion. So they're loving the sport, they're embracing it, and eventually we could see them be the next Hobie Call, Amelia Boone, Corinna Coffin, all those people. We could see them.
Now, what if we ended up with a parent-child world champion titles?
Wow, and it's totally possible, because here's the thing: my next favorite age group is the men and women 50 plus, because it's another age group that typically was going to get overlooked. That sometimes is kind of, all right, they're going to be in those open waves that are kind of lackadaisical.
You better watch out. They might come after you.
No, because here's the other thing. They're no joke. Some of these qualifying times, they are top. And again, not top just in their age group. Their age groups are relatively small at some of these larger races. But you look at their overall finishes and the times that some of these athletes are finishing, it's incredible. They are running solid times. And not just solid times for their age, solid times that anybody would be happy to run in. One of our competitors, our oldest competitor, 65, going to be on this
65
course.
years old.
65 years old, competing
Wow.
in the OCR World Championships.
Wow. So we've got a 13-year-old competing at OCR World Championships and a 65-year-old.
Running the gamut here at the OCR World Championships. All have qualified. But Margaret, who do you think is going to win?
Oh, I think that the men's race is going to come down to, and I gotta say it's going to come down to a run between Albin and Atkins.
Yeah.
Those two mountain runners.
Yeah.
And not to take anything away from anybody
Not
else,
at all.
but those two are so strong in their
And
running.
having such great seasons.
Yeah. Although Albin is, I talked to him today, he does have a bit of a knee issue coming in. He scraped his knee. It's got infected recently, so he's got a swollen knee. But we're still a little over a day and change away from the race, so that might go down. But those two, I gotta give this terrain to that. On the women's side, it's gonna be tough. I mean, Claude is so strong on mountains. She's been traveling a ton though and had a ton of racing. You can't take anybody out. Karina's had such a great season.
And she's learning the sport.
And then we have others that we just don't know about.
I know.
And we have, I even know Morgan McKay. She might not be a household name, but she hasn't necessarily been crazy racing like the rest of us have all season. Mm-hmm. So she's coming in a little bit more refreshed than the rest of us. So this is going to be an interesting race. I mean, I don't know that there's a runaway,
not at all.
A runaway favorite in either race.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's such a strong field, and it's such a unique environment that it's not a standard race that people have run before they can compare anything to. It's brand new, all new to all these athletes. Who knows? It's wide open.
Who knows? And there are no penalties, so
It's do or die.
Or die. Yeah. There's no
slip ups, no mistakes.
I mean, who knows? There could be something that trips up even one of our favorites on race day. We just don't know.
We just don't know.
I guess we'll have to.